Hello and welcome to another financial analysis video. Today I'm talking about Alcoa. Alcoa is an interesting company because they are typically the first company to announce earnings in the new earnings season. And while I have not looked at the calendar yet, it cannot be more than a week and a half away from them to announce their third quarter earnings and kick off earnings season. But boy, did they throw, I don't want to say they threw a curveball to me, but when they announced earlier this week that they were going to split the companies, I was kind of surprised. I've been reading up on some things and discussing the business model now. They actually released an 8K on the 29th, in which they stated, and I quote, Alcoa has not as yet described the corporate structure that will be used in the separate transactions. So it's hard to say exactly what each of these companies is going to look like from a balance sheet and earnings standpoint as of yet, although they are describing which operations are going to go where in their regulation disclosure. It's sort of, I don't want to say it threw a damper on me, but Alcoa, for me right now, represents, and I'm going to kind of let the secret out, I was intending to buy Alcoa a few business days, a few trading days ahead of earnings in the hopes that they would do well and then turn around and sell the stock at a decent gain. Now, I tell you, had they announced this move with their earnings release, well, that would have been great for me. I would have made exactly what I wanted to make. It would have been a quick in and out. Now, I don't run around advocating day trading, but I wanted to try it, and I wanted to try it here. So, I mean, we'll see if the stock sells back down into the below $9. I might take a whiff at it again and see what happens. But one of the reasons why Alcoa is so close to its 52-week low isn't because of the operation, it's because the price of aluminum and the metals market. It's been hurt so much over the past year that it has depressed the share prices of pretty much any metals producer. However, if you take a look, I mean, the evidence is right here in terms of how well the operation has turned around. The return on equity is fantastic. I mean, it's gone from a 2% return on equity just a couple of years ago to almost 10% here in Q1. Now, I want to add, before I get too far ahead of myself, that a couple of years ago I wrote a very nasty article against Alcoa, and it was because the stock price ran up in advance of the earnings results. Now the stock price has dropped in advance of better earnings results than it had when it was twice as high. I mean, look at revenue and look at, and some of this too is the corporation diversifying itself away from one single metal, and that being aluminum, and going into other ventures. And so trailing 12-month revenue has gone up by $2 billion in less than a year, essentially. So Alcoa is doing the right things to keep this organization growing. They've definitely showed signs of improvement. And again, cash flow. Take a look at cash flow on a trailing 12-month basis. It has doubled. Free cash flow, which was negative, something I cited in my article being bearish of Alcoa back in early 2014. Well, now it's pumped up to $800 million on a trailing 12-month basis. So Alcoa has a lot going for it, and in my opinion, the price of aluminum and the price of some of these metals rallying wouldn't be the catalyst for the stock price going up. It would be the icing on the cake. So I'll keep an eye on this, but I don't want to jump on now that it's spiked like this. I'd like to see it come back down and getting in front of earnings. I do believe it will be a good earnings report for Alcoa. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and happy investing.